All right. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our August Lunch and Learn. We're super excited that you're here today. We have 8 online, and we have 6 or 7 more who are going to be watching the replay. So I've got a couple of slides for the introduction, and then I'm going to hand it over to our presenter, Valerie. So I've just switched screens. Valerie, can you say yes if you can see the screen?
Yes, I do. Welcome, Lunch and Learn.
Awesome. Thank you. So every second Tuesday of the month, we have a Lunch and Learn from 12 until 1. The Lunch and Learn speakers or facilitators are people from our mawb directory platform or membership. If you are interested in becoming a Lunch and Learn speaker, please reach out. I can send you the application for you to fill out. We do have September and October already filled. I'll be posting those new Lunch and Learns in the next week or so. So today's Lunch and Learn is the welcome and intros, which I'll do in a moment for Valerie. I want to just share a couple of our upcoming events, talk about today's speaker, and then I hand it over. Okay. So today's speaker is Valerie. This is the topic. Give me a second. I'm just going to go to the next slide. Tonight we do have an event. It is ChatGPT online training for anyone who's not really using ChatGPT to the fullest, or if you're getting robotic, boring responses, or if you haven't even really embraced or tried AI yet, I would highly encourage you to think about attending the session tonight. It's not too late to register. Please note, if you haven't registered and you're thinking about it, there is a pre-work assignment. It takes about 20 minutes. That does need to be completed before the training starts. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Coming up, I'll just let you know that I have some other ChatGPT sessions that are going to be that are going to be posted and run this fall. I have creating images with ChatGPT and ChatGPT for blogging. So keep your eye out for those courses. And then I have this blank spot here because I couldn't find the image. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you to the website mawb.ca. Valerie, can you let me know if mawb.ca has loaded on the screen? I can't see anyone right now, so I need someone to say yes.
It's a blank page.
It's a blank page? All right. 1 second. I'm just going to go back. I don't know what's going on today. I actually turned on Zoom and the screen looks completely different. So bear with me. I'm just going to share again. And I want to share this tab right here. So I want to know if someone can say yes, you can see the mawb.ca website.
There's a network page, yes.
Perfect. Okay, so I'm just switching over to the events page. Can you see that I moved to the events page?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you. So I just wanted to tell you about a really fun and exciting event we have coming up at the end of the month. We're doing an August evening mawb meetup. We're hosting this meetup in Streetsville, and Jen from Styleworthy is sponsoring our event. So she is offering us her beautiful curated Styleworthy space in downtown Streetsville to come together to connect. And what she's also offering is a free charm table. So we can come and make charm bracelets. I posted a little reel she did inside the event on the Facebook group. So go and check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to be able to network and meet people and have a really casual, authentic session or evening while we build charm bracelets that tell a story about who we are and what we've done. She's got hundreds of charms that we can clip on. So check it out. I hope to see you there. This will be our last event for the summer. And then the scheduling for September should be out. I want to say this weekend. I'll try my hardest, but I'm really trying hard to not work when I'm away. I'm trying to really focus on not working all the time. I think as fellow entrepreneurs, you get what I'm saying. Trying to be more, set more boundaries for myself. Anyway, those are some upcoming events. Hope to see you there. It would be great. Now it's Valerie's turn. Valerie is up. So some of you, I think most of you on this call know Valerie. You've met her in person, or maybe you have seen her in an online event in the past. She's a master certified hypnotist. She's the director of Erin Mills Hypnosis. She uses a few different modalities in her practice, and I'm super excited about today's topic, which is Rewire our responses, breaking the cycle of stress, and just kind of having a little bit more clarity and calm. And she's going to be teaching us some techniques today that we are going to be able to walk away with and apply right away. So, Valerie, take it away.
Absolutely. Let's
Can
see.
can I let me stop sharing? And
That's
I
been
don't
thank you.
believe, does that work for you now?
It's great. This way I get to see all of you because being a hypnotist means we're not just listening to what people say, we're actually looking at the impact we make as we speak. So I'm curious, how many of you know when you're feeling stressed and what that feels like? Can I have one or two people that are willing to share what it feels like when you're stressed? Go ahead, Marilla. Unmute.
I get impatient when I feel stressed. Not much of overwhelm, but more of like uh instant, like I need that like now kind of thing.
Yes, everything speeds up. Let's go, let's go, let's go. I got to get this done. Come on. Absolutely. Each of us has our own way of experiencing it. Thank you for sharing. And is there anybody else that has a way they feel when they feel overwhelmed? When they feel stressed, it might not be overwhelm. How do you know? For me, I sometimes get these voices in my head. Maybe I should do this. No, I should do that. But how about, what if I do this? But what would someone so say? Or how, I'm not sure. How would this work for me? I used to do that an awful lot. I do it less and less now. Yeah, okay. So what I'd like to do is share with you what hypnosis is. We've all been in hypnosis-like states at many times through the day because it's a very natural way of being. Have you ever been to the movies? You settle in, the screen lights up, and there's this very funny scene, and you can't help but laughing. You just join into the laughter. Or how about there's a very sad scene and your mood changes, with the sound of violins, and either you feel like crying or your mood shifts, you feel sad. All of those responses are examples of emotional suggestibility. You haven't experienced those things, but in your imagination, you've shifted your state. Hypnosis relies on that, and it's a useful way of learning how to apply this skill for your benefit. Um, Also, NLP. We're going to be actually using NLP and two NLP strategies today. You're going to be learning two techniques and another strategy today. So we're actually going to be taking action and moving because hypnosis is about experiencing, taking action in your life to change things, getting out of your head and actually being in the present moment, taking action and moving forward with your goals. So NLP is a set of techniques that support you in changing the way you think, the way you communicate, and how you take action. And as you practice these techniques, you're able to shift on the fly so that you can get the goals that you set up for yourself. I'd like to share a quick story about the power of hypnosis. A friend, Jill, and I were asked 2 days before a service to step into church and take on roles. Jill was doing the inspirational part, the inspirational speech. And I noticed when she got in, she seemed out of sorts. She felt overwhelmed. I offered if she would like to, sit with me and if I could help her calm down. So I guided her as a hypnotist does because all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. The hypnotist is simply the guide or the teacher. So I guided her, we breathed deeply together. And then I asked her to step into a time where she felt confident being on the platform because she's done it a number of times. And she was like all hunched over and really stressed. And when I reminded her about a resource state, a feeling where she felt so very confident in the past being on the platform, it's like she melted and she sat into her chair. The color of her skin got rosy. She smiled, and with her eyes closed, she says, "Oh yeah, I know what that's like." So I had her step into the way the things that she saw, what she heard, and how she feels. So she fully engaged in that moment. And when I knew she was fully engaged, I had her anchor that feeling. So anchoring is a shortcut. I had her use her fist to take in a long, deep breath at the height of that emotion, of that feeling of being confident and in charge and in control. Taking in that long, deep breath and anchoring that moment. An anchor is a shortcut. Like when you hear a song, it takes you back to high school and the fun parties where you used to dance to that song, or the smell of cologne, maybe your first boyfriend. And all those memories come floating back. It's a shortcut. So anchors are cool. Yeah, so she used that anchor. And then I suggested that she step into that state of confidence as she went onto the platform. And so she did. And she rocked it. As a matter of fact, at the end of the service, I asked, "So how was that feeling of overwhelm for you?" You know what she said? She said, "What do you mean overwhelm? I was totally confident. It was amazing like always." She actually forgot how she entered the church with. And that was awesome. Let me tell you, it's so satisfying to see people living their potential. And she just switched on the fly like that. That's the power of hypnosis. And the other day at the quantum workspace, there was a woman who could have been any one of us. And she said, "I feel so stressed. I go home and I realize I don't even have a meal prepared for my children." Any of us can feel like that. How many of you could feel that overwhelm? You kind of missed things at work because as an entrepreneur, we're just working always. I know it happens for me. All right. Well, what I'd like you to know is that traditional stress management tools fall short for entrepreneurs, and I'll tell you why. Breathing, minding your breathing, like breathing deeply, stepping out and going for a walk, or doing a quick workout session, or I like to do jumping jacks, are amazing in the moment. But as entrepreneurs, when we're dealing with constant pressure and that feeling of needing everything to be perfect, or that feeling of imposter syndrome, we need something a little stronger. We actually need something that doesn't just manage symptoms, but takes care of the source. And the best way to do that is to connect with your subconscious mind. The subconscious mind actually has all of this information. From the age of 0 to 7, we discovered ways to manage in our life. We learned so much at that time, and that's originally when our subconscious mind was programmed. So don't you think it's high time to update that program and change those patterns? Because all the ways you used to respond, like when you felt stressed or overwhelmed, or there's a whole library of events that happened and how you responded, all of those are in your subconscious mind. It's time to clear out the cobwebs and shift into a new way of being. So, when our stress comes from fear of failure, we need to apply more than just a Band-Aid. We actually need to go in and change the muscle memory of our mind. I would like to share with you a technique. It's very simple and effective. And after using this technique, I am certain the woman who was so kind to share her experience at the quantum workplace would realize that she had other options that day. So what I'd like you to do is follow along with me. Have you ever noticed that you're talking in your head? You know, I mentioned earlier, I sometimes do that. Yes, Christine says yes. Yeah. So I just want you to know those voices in your head, they're not just a habit, they're a stress response. We actually don't need to be hearing our own voice in our head. When you go to the grocery store, you know, sometimes you think, you know, that you've got that whole grocery list. Okay, milk, eggs, butter, cheese, broccoli, milk, eggs, butter, cheese, broccoli, milk, eggs, butter. And then somebody says, hey, how's your garden growing? I could see it over the fence. It looks amazing. And you engage in this conversation, and what happens? That whole list goes out of your head. What would be more useful is actually having pictures of what you need to purchase. So you go home without the broccoli. Oh well. So what I'd like for you to do is follow along with me, because I'd like to teach you this 5-step technique to quiet your mind so you can worry less and make better choices. So, number one, I'd like you to step into a time when you had those voices in your head. And if that's not the way you actually respond, you could just imagine, because a lot of what we do in hypnosis is using our imagination, and it is useful. All right, so step into a time when you had those thoughts going on in your head. Step number 1 is to call out stop in your mind louder than those voices. So you're saying stop in your mind. Step 2 is to look up. Take a moment and look up and notice what you see above you. It could be your ceiling if you're outdoors. It could be the clouds if you're in your car. It could be the car interior if you're driving. Don't look up. All right, step number 3, listen. Listen to all the sounds in your environment. Right now, I'm hearing the air conditioning through the vent. Someone's coming in through the hallway. Tune in to the sounds that you hear in your environment. Your dog might be barking or panting or breathing, any of those. Step 4 is feel. Feel anything on your skin, perhaps your hair tickling your skin. If you're barefoot, like I like to be when I work, feeling the texture of the rug against the soles of my feet. Feel. Noticing the way clothes feel on your skin. And step number 5 is be here now. Tune into this present moment. So this quick reset gives your mind a whole new signal, so you can respond with clarity instead of stress. When you're internally focused, trying to solve a solution or figure something out or make a decision or have a debate, you're being what we call internal. When you're externally focused, you're using all your senses, your sight, your hearing, what you feel. It could be you're having a cup of tea, you're noticing the taste of the honey you decided to add today. And you're in this now moment, because when we engage our nervous system through our senses, we are so much more focused and in control. When we stay internal, we are actually out of sync with our reality. We don't know how to respond. We cannot move forward. So what we need to do is step into our senses, be here now, feel grounded and empowered to take action. Just like that woman, maybe she came home with those children, being an entrepreneur, and maybe she could think to herself, oh my goodness, I didn't even think of a meal for the kids today. And she did stop, look, listen, feel, be here now. Let's have breakfast for dinner. It'll be really quick and awesome. Let's go. Who wants to get the cereal boxes? Who's getting the milk? Come on, guys. And then she moves on to have bedtime with the kids, making it special and committing to another hour of work before she goes to bed. So when we are in this now, this present moment, being externally focused, we have way more options. So I'm curious if any of you, what any of you have experienced in going through that 5-step quieting your mind session. Did you notice anything? Would anyone like to share? Just one or two people. For me, I don't see anyone, but for me, when I tune out of my mind and into my body, I realize there are options. I know what actions to take. I'm no longer confused. I'm purpose-driven again, because that's what we need to be as entrepreneurs. We need to know what the next step is. And we don't have to leap 6 steps ahead. We need to go to the next one. Take a deep breath and move forward with the next one after that, because we're focused in the present moment. So what I'd like to do, it's really important that we practice NLP techniques. It's kind of like, when we go to the gym and we train our bodies and we establish that neural network from our muscles to our brain. Well, even with brain states, we need to get that muscle memory going. So I have two techniques I'd like to share with you in just a moment that we're going to be getting up when I let you know. But before we do, you will find that amazing entrepreneurs aren't born. Anybody who reaches any kind of level of success is somebody who's tried and tried and tried over again, made tons of mistakes, and they built up that muscle memory. They built up that momentum. They focused on their drive. When they fell down, they got up and they did it again. And so we're going to learn. I'd like you to think about who you would like to model. Someone who you'd like to model to add certain skills. For me, I was working on confidence. Setting up a new business is a big deal. So I have someone that I was mentored by, and I know particular skills I really admire about her. So before I have you stand up, think of someone you'd like to model who has skills that would be very useful for you to apply for yourself. And I'd like one or two people to actually tell me who they'd like to model. I'll start. I'd like to model Tree from Burlington Hypnosis, my mentor. Is there someone else who has a model? Yes, Tina, you can unmute.
I'll say this person doesn't know that I use them as a model. I have met him at a Leadership Institute where we went to learn some skills about politics, and we started following each other online. And I see him how he uses every opportunity. And I asked one day, and he said, if the opportunity is there, why would I skip it? I would always take it. And I started following what he's doing. And I find that before I would have been worried too, I would have been overthinking. And now I just find that I'm a little braver with deciding, sometimes not even deciding, just jumping in. And I keep saying to myself, the opportunity is there, I'll grab it and I'll see if anything would happen. And if it doesn't, it's not a big deal. So they don't know that. I would never admit that. But
So the point about having a model is that you know who they are and you are learning skills from them and internalizing those skills. And I'm going to give you a technique to do that. Thank you for sharing. That's a wonderful model. Is there anybody else that would like to share somebody they like to model? Okay, so what I'm going to have you do is, keeping in mind the person that you'd like to model. So you need to select someone for this, because we're going to do something called the Circle of Excellence. Just a thumbs up if you have someone you'd like to model. When I do fitness, I have one person I model. When I do business, I have another person. When I do family, I have another person. Yes? Okay. So if you would kindly stand up, and I'm still going to need to be able to see your face. So we're going to imagine a hula hoop. We're going to have to imagine a hula hoop sized circle in front of us. That will be our circle of excellence. If you have issues with standing, don't worry. You may stay seated and still use your imagination. Do what you need to do just to accommodate you. Christine, if I could just see your face, if you just adjust because really that's what I'm looking for. Thank you. All right, so can you hear me all right? So you can hear me okay? Thank you. So what I'd like you to do is imagine this circle on the floor. And before we do anything, I want you to decorate this hula hoop sized circle on the floor. Just imagine it could be a color. Somebody in the past has said it's just a chalk line. Somebody said it was a circle of roses on the outside at the perimeter. Somebody else said it was just bricks. So choose how you'd like to decorate your circle of excellence. And when you've got that, just give me a thumbs up. Yes? Thank you. Tina, you need another minute? Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do is step into that model. Think about the qualities, the attributes, 3 or 4 attributes that you'd like to take from this model. This person that you admire, these skills that you need to make yourself feel complete and whole, perhaps more confident, less stressed, more responsive. You need to choose for you. This is the track I'm on. You choose your own track. And as you get a trait, just put it into your circle of excellence. Just imagine dropping that trait into your circle of excellence. We use our imagination a lot in hypnosis. You don't need to do the action. I'm just showing you that your trait goes into the circle of excellence. So there should be 3 or 4 traits. Yes? Okay, the next step is we're going to take a deep breath and we're going to actually take a step right into your circle of excellence. You're in the center of it. And I'm going to have you close your eyes. And also, I'd like you to pick a color. What color would you like those traits to be? Christine, what color?
Green like money.
Ooh, awesome. And you can pick any color that you like, all right? Because I know we are muted. So choose a color of that energy that you're stepping in. Christine's is green, mine is aqua blue. You choose your own color, and that color represents all the traits you have swirling in your circle of excellence. Now, what I'd like you to do is close your eyes and take a deep breath. And as you do, you're going to allow that colored energy of traits to percolate into your whole body. It needs to saturate your whole being. We are human beings. We have so many things that are potentials for us. The switch just isn't turned on yet. So in breathing in these traits, we're turning on those switches so that we have those qualities within us that we admire from our mentor. Taking in a long, deep breath, stepping into the way it feels, how it sounds when you have those traits, what it looks like for you to have those traits. And when you've done that and that color has saturated your whole being, you could take one step back whenever you're ready. Okay, so the next thing is we're going to do an edit. If perhaps you realized you already have this quality, let it go and add another trait that's more useful for you. So it just takes a second to decide. You'll know. And if you have changed anything, take a moment to change the color. Take a moment to change the color. Before I was aqua blue, and I'm going to add another trait. So now my color, the energy color of my traits is magenta. Just pick a new color if you've edited. If you have not, you may remain with the same color. And if you're ready, take that long, deep breath and step in. That's it. And allow, closing your eyes, allowing that energy to percolate through your body, feeling it. It's like it's turning on those qualities at a cellular level. And visualize yourself behaving as if all of this is in place in your life. That's right, as if it's all in place in your life. And whenever you're ready, you could just take a step forward. Single step forward outside of your circle of excellence. You're moving forward. So I'm going to have you practice the circle of excellence activity daily, morning and night. It's really quick. You know the color, you know to take the deep breath, you know to step in, you know the feeling that you get when you've got all those traits and you behave as if. And now we're going to do that shortcut. We're going to do an anchor. Usually my hand is down, but I'd like you to see me creating an anchor, that shortcut to the feeling you get at the end when you've got all of those traits internalized. So for example, for me, my word is confidence. You have your own word. It's my key to my shortcut. So I'm going to take a deep breath, step into that heightened emotion, say that word confidence in my heart, take a step, squeeze my fist, and I'm done. So you're going to feel that feeling, take a long deep breath, say that key that you need for your anchor. All right, and when you're ready, you can sit down. When I'm in the clinic and I have a single person at a time, it's a whole lot easier to really focus on the person right there. But I wanted you to get an idea what it's like to do this technique. And this technique isn't just meant to be done once in the hypnotist's office or in your own home right now. It's meant to be practiced over and over because you are developing muscle memory. So it would be useful to do the circle of excellence perhaps when you wake up and before you go to bed, and maybe a time before you have to see a certain client, whatever. And with the anchor, I recommend you do it 6 or 7 times a day. I step through a doorway and I say confidence in my heart. I step into that feeling. It's just it's like the length of time it takes to take a breath. I've practiced my anchor because I'm stepping into that feeling. You know those people who do affirmations, they say the same thing over and over and over again? Those affirmations are only useful when you step into that feeling of love or gratitude or whatever. So you really need to be in the height of the emotion. That's the power of the source power that you get, being in that height of the emotion. And is there anything anyone would like to share about that experience? If they noticed anything, if they're wondering about anything, if I can clarify something for you? Okay, we got a quiet bunch today. All right. Well, I just want you to know that oh yes, Morella?
I don't know if it's because I'm just tense, but when I was doing it, my shoulders got a little bit tense.
Mhm. Okay, what I'd love to do with you, Morella, we could do it on the phone or on Zoom. I could help you work through that whenever you like. Yeah,
Okay.
so the point of having someone to emulate or model is another way of doing a shortcut. We don't have to live 45 years like they did to discover these things. We get to borrow them from the people, which is a reason to feel really relieved and calm and so on. So yes, I'd love to, even after this, Morella, we can have a little chat. I'd love to work through with that with you. All right? Thank you. Is there anybody else that has a question or a comment?
I just have difficult time turning my my mind off. and focusing on not thinking about anything else, but focusing on this. I guess, have hyper mind that I think about problems or something else, and really, maybe this is why I can do yoga. I cannot calm my mind not to think about anything.
Well, just to say, Tina, since we're all part of the human race, we're all able to learn something new, and it just takes practice and some guidance. I'd be happy to help you with that to get refocused. Also, telling your mind to stop, to look outside of yourself, to listen, to feel, and to be in this moment, and to just keep repeating that. Some days I'm constantly repeating that because my mind keeps running the show, but it's not useful for me to be on that hamster wheel, right? It is not useful. We need to shut that down so we can attend to what's going on right in front of us. Who knows? There might be a wonderful opportunity waiting for you. You wouldn't notice if you were in your head. So it's very important to make a commitment in this way to practicing. Yes. And I'd like to share a quick story about what's possible when you work with your subconscious, when you change those patterns, when you build up those neural pathways. So I have a client named Liz, and when we first started working together, she was really stressed. She was having a hard time in business and at home. She was the eldest daughter, and her parents lived abroad, and she was in charge of her adult siblings. Life was just a little bit too much for her, and she needed tools to handle it better. And she was wise enough to know she needed to look for a solution. So through our sessions, she learned techniques like visualization and anchoring. She said they helped her picture her higher self and move towards her vision with confidence. She also learned how to use cord cutting and ho'oponopono to release negative events daily. So she could start each day fresh instead of letting stress snowball into that overwhelm that was so familiar for her. These tools didn't just help her at home, but they didn't just help her feel better, they also helped her at work. She transformed her results there. She went from consistently hitting 70 to 80% of her monthly targets to over 125% in July. In fact, when we began, she was on a coaching plan at work, and she was really worried about losing her job. That pain of the problem, that fear is what got her to take action. And all of us tend to take action when we're right in the pain of the problem. So 4 sessions later, she became the number 3 seller all across Canada in just 4 sessions. So her words say it best. These tools gave me a sense of purpose through stress. They allowed me to take back control of my life and live more intentionally. So hypnosis and NLP are really powerful tools for retraining our subconscious mind and helping us break patterns so that we can step into our potential. As I said earlier, I'd be happy if you signed up for my email. There's a QR code here if you're interested in taking advantage of a free screening. At the least, you will discover something new about yourself. At the least, and the most, you'll learn more about hypnosis and perhaps find a way of going forward so that you can get the goals that you're chasing. If you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to listen. We've got a few more minutes and then I'll hand it to Christine. Out of all the techniques, what will you commit to doing? Is there one? I'd love it if you do all 3, but is there one technique that you would commit to?
I definitely am going to use, I'm not sure what you called it, but it was step into the external is how I wrote it down.
Yes.
I put it in the chat box as well. What do you smell? What do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? And just being in the moment and getting out of your head. Yeah, I can do that sometimes. And I know I have one of my teens who's really gets stuck in those just
That was
patterns.
really useful. And it's so simple, right? It just takes a second because, you know, it's like you take a breath and pretty much you're there and you've shifted. And the more you do it through a day, the more you get out of your mind and you tune into the opportunities that are looking right at you, which you wouldn't have noticed before, being preoccupied with stress or overwhelm or whatever.
It's funny when you gave one example as well where you just put your hand up and said stop, and I do that a lot when I have a list of things that I have to get done, and all of a sudden I'm getting all squirrely and the notifications are coming in, or all the tabs are open, and I'm like, what should I do? And I just literally like stop and just look at my list and just focus on what's on the list. So
I know.
that was a nice reinforcement that you did that. It's like, oh, okay.
Yes, you're really good at noticing when other people need to get refocused, because I've done your courses and you say, Val, here. Oh, gotcha. Right? Yes, it's awesome. Yep. And the power to be able to do that and to shift gears on the fly, like it's amazing. It's like driving a high performance car. Like, you know, when you get all these skills and strategies, it's like a switch just like that. Yes. Are there any questions?
So just give a quick idea of what it's like to start working with you to begin. What is this screening session? Can you tell me more about that?
So in the free screening, we have you fill in a couple of pages of an intake form, and then we sit down and we have a chat about what you'd like to change. And actually, I don't know if you remember, but Mo and I did a film about the free screening. You're welcome to look it up on Instagram. Anyway, she was great. She's a good sport. And after that, I teach you some things about defense mechanisms that all of us use. And I do a read. I teach you a little bit about yourself and maybe things that you don't notice, or you see them, but you don't realize how they impact you. And then I show you some success stories or testimonials and have you relate to it. And then I teach you about hypnosis. I teach you about hypnosis, and I do a test to see if you would qualify to have the attention that you require to be able to do hypnosis successfully in the first place. Almost everybody can be hypnotized. The only reason people can't be hypnotized if they're drunk and they can't pay attention, if their IQ is below 70, and for the same reason, they can't attend long enough. Being hearing impaired and not having, that's a problem too if one of your senses are impacted. Or if you're just a smarty pants, you want everybody to know that you're smarter than them and you refuse to comply. Okay, so everybody could be hypnotized except there's only those few conditions where we can't. So it's very useful. Yes, and then actually people choose in terms of the program, they choose which program they would like in terms of length based on how long they think it will take them to accomplish their goals, which is really important. I'm not saying you need to buy, no, it's up to them, because people have to step into accountability, take responsibility for themselves and choose what they want to change, come in willing to learn, leave willing to practice. As you can see with Liz, she was really stressed out when she came. She didn't know that she would develop an interest in dating. She didn't know that she would go back and get out with her friends again. She didn't know that she'd become the top seller, the number 3 seller across. She didn't know, but she took all the actions that were required. And this is what happened because she chose to take action. That's where our success comes from, taking action. Yes, Kathy, just unmute. Thank you.
Yeah, and that was actually kind of what I was thinking too. Like, I don't know that I would have been opened at a certain stage in my life. So you just kind of summarized what I was thinking, that, maybe not everybody qualifies also because of whatever their their openness to what you're doing as well, I guess. I'm not wording it well, but I feel like, maybe in my 20s I wouldn't have been quite ready to make some changes, and then maybe, later in life we're, or at least I feel like I'm more open to different modalities, different things and opportunities too. So
Yes, and the wonderful thing for me is that it's all natural. It's all natural. You're shifting your brain state. You're learning techniques to do that. You're being offered suggestions that are personalized just for you. Each program is tailored for a client. Clients will come in for weight loss or stress relief or to stop smoking. And often those are just the symptoms. At the core of it might be stress. Finding a more efficient way of handling stress really shifts everything in your life. That's right. So yes, you need to be prepared to take action. You're right, Kathy. You need to be ready to be open for something new. Yes. And it's new, but it's not that new. Every day you watch TV and you get drawn into the drama. Every day you listen to music and you know the lyrics because you've been hypnotized. Every day you hear 9, 6, 7, and you know what comes next because you've been hypnotized. So, yeah, which is so cool. Okay. So is there anything else you'd like to add or you're wondering about? Christine, would it be okay if Morella stayed on for a few minutes after? So
Yeah, sure.
Actually, Valerie, you know what? Sorry to
You
interrupt.
occupied?
I think I've got to run, but
Okay.
I'd like to connect with you on our own.
Sounds good. All right.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so over here is signing up for my email. My website is over here. Christine's got a page with all my contact info. I'm in the mawb directory. I'm on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn. And I love joining these networking events with you. And I look forward to seeing you around and hopefully entertaining you in my office. Not entertaining you, but come and see what I've got here. Anyway, yeah, you're welcome to come.
Awesome. Thank you so much. When I send out the replay, I will include the link to her free screening. So if anybody wants to take this one step further and get a really personalized approach to see where this can go, then you'll want to, sign up for that with Valerie in her office. Awesome. Okay. Thank you so much. Great session. I've got my golden nugget here that I'll be using on myself and my kiddo. And I hope you also, ladies in the group, also picked up a nugget or two to move forward with. Wishing you all the best for the rest of this week. Did you know that just before we got on this call, we had about an ounce of rain? I don't know if you guys were outside or not, but it rained like literally. I was praying for the clouds, the sky to open up because that's how desperately we need the rain. But
it rained overnight at my place because it was wet this morning. So
no, not here. We so badly need it. All right, ladies, wishing you a great week. Hopefully this heat will subside a little bit so we can get out and do all the fun things that summer has to offer. Until I see you all again, have a wonderful day and week. Take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, everyone.
Bye.
Who asked me to stay on?
I think, was it Susanna?
Oh, right. Okay, I'll catch up with her. I see she's gone.
So,
Thank you, Valerie. Excellent.
was it okay? I'm sorry. It's learning. It's all learning.